Hey y'all, it's Seawolf. Today I want to go over my EDC pouch. This is not a survival pouch, but this is a video on all the stuff that I carry every day of just things that you wouldn't think you'd normally need, but every once in a while you do. So before we get started, let's talk about this Maxpedition Beefy pouch. So what this is a pouch from Maxpedition. It's about 8.5 inches long this way, 6.5 inches this way, and then when it's not packed, it's about 2.5 inches wide. I went with the foliage green just because I think that black, I guess, is kind of boring, but some people I know would like that. I just went with this color because it looks pretty cool. It uses YKK zippers, which are super strong and don't get bound up. They just flow over this really well. You've got a little spot for like a morale patch, and it's got this webbing in the front. I don't really ever use this. You might could put like a notebook in there, but it's so tight by the time you get it packed, it's not very useful. So the back has got some straps for if you want to put this on a backpack or even maybe on your belt. It's a little big for that, but if you wanted, you could. It's got a handle for pulling out of a backpack or out of your car, and it's been stitched about 8 different ways, so it's super strong. And then I just keep on this paracord bracelet so that it's a little bit easier to grab. I can grab this or this, and I've got some paracord if I'm in the woods, a whistle, and I also like making fires with fire steels. So on the inside of this thing, you got the metal and a fire steel for making a fire. So on the inside of this, what I keep, like I said, are items that they may not get used every single day, but there's a lot of times in life where you're going around and there's like something random you need, you wish you had, and that's what this pack's for. So I've got a flashlight because sometimes your phone just doesn't shine far enough. This is a mag light. I'll give reviews over some of this stuff in different videos, but this one I really just want to show you guys what I have. I've got this little Gerber shard. I got this from a friend. This thing's super useful for like prying stuff because you don't want to break your knife or a more expensive tool. You just pop it under something and it's one piece of metal, so it pries really well. This right here is a lighter. I don't really see any point in keeping matches because they can get wet just as wet as a lighter can, but this lasts much longer. And if I'm wanting to make a fire or something and a fire still is just taking too long because it's wet outside, this is nice to have. This right here is a titanium spoon that I go to work and I'll forget my plastic fork or whatever, so this is super useful to have. It weighs like nothing. Then you can see I've got 8 sets of batteries. These are all just AAA batteries for the headlamp and for the mag light. So this is like hours and hours of batteries. This is my headlight. It's just a $15 Energizer headlight from Walmart. This thing is awesome. It's got 3 power modes and I think it lasts like 8 hours. So I love it. It's useful for if you don't want to tie up on your hands using a flashlight and you're out camping or whatever and you just need a light. This thing's great. Also keep a ferrocerium rod just because really it's just fun to make fires with these. It's a lot easier to use a lighter obviously, but I like it. Bushcrafty stuff. Some Germex. Obviously just keep clean if you're out in the woods. You don't necessarily have somewhere to wipe your hands, or if you cut yourself, it doesn't feel too good, but this stuff's really useful. I've also got a power brick. This is the larger power brick from Apple. It's a 12 watt. So this charges my iPad and will charge phones and things like that pretty quick. To go with that, in this back pouch, I've got my Apple cord for iPhones, iPads, whatever. So this is where I keep like a small little med kit, I guess, in this Ziploc bag. This is not for like if you chop your arm off. I mean, this is more of like if you get an everyday kind of cut or maybe a moderate cut, just long enough to kind of put it on your arm or something if you need to go to the emergency room to just stop bleeding. It's not for a serious wound. It's just got some gloves in it, some tape, lots of Band-Aids, and some wipes for like sanitizing. Like I was out in the woods the other day and cut my knuckle with a saw a little bit, and it was something I needed to clean, so having stuff like this is really nice. Also got some hot hands. In Alabama where I live, the weather is kind of sporadic, so some days in the winter it's 60, some days it's 20, so these are nice to have. So that pouch is empty. What you've also got on that side is a D-ring for like keys and this little loop that's sewn into the edge of the pouch that you can use for putting on like a S-hook if you need to put lights or something that's a little bit more precious to you, you don't want to fall out, you could click it on this. I've also got this Matchbox. There's actually not matches in here. This is where I keep like little earbuds for if you're sleeping in the woods and it's loud outside, or if you go shooting or something like that. So this is the only disclaimer about this pouch. On the spine of it, if you put something stiff right here, which I tried for a while, like you putting a Multitool or something like that, it won't close very well. It just like causes this to bind up and it won't close. So I just keep about 10 feet of paracord right there. And it's probably about 1.5 inches that you could put something in there. Like you might could put spices or something like that if you're a camper, those kind of things. Right here I've got my Leatherman Signal. I'll do this in a separate review, but this is a really good outdoorsman multi-tool. It's got a flint on it, a knife sharpener, things like that. I keep the pouch for popping on your belt, and then I keep 2 tool cards for swapping out the bits in the Leatherman. Just bits you need every day, like flatheads and torque bits and Allen heads, things like that. Trying to keep all this stuff in frame so you guys can see how much fitting in this thing. I've also got a battery pack, and I love this thing. I think this was like $20 on Amazon, and it's 15,000 milliamp hours. And what I love about it is it's got 2 ports to charge. One is a slower, I think 1 amp, and then a 2 amp. It's got a flashlight, a state of charge indicator. And my favorite thing is this is a solar panel. So if you are out in the woods in kind of like an emergency situation and you had this little pack, you could sit this in the sun and charge it up, which is really nice. This will charge my phone probably about 5 times. It might charge an iPad once. Then I've got a New Testament Bible in here. So in some situation, emergency where this was all that I had, this would be very important to me, because really at the end of the day, this is what's going to keep you going. It's not all the gear you got, it's something higher. In this back pouch, I kind of keep the more sensitive things that I don't really want rubbing up against everything else. So technology and cords and stuff like that. So this is a cord to plug into like Android phones, or if I need to charge that battery pack. And then I've got just a lightning converter. So this is really nice. If I go to somebody's house or at a hotel or something and I want to watch a movie on my phone, I can just plug this into my phone and into an HDMI port and watch a movie. And then I also have down in here some little connectors. So I've got a converter for USB-C to USB-A, and then USB-C to USB-B, and then a flash drive. There's a lot of times you need one of these, especially if you want to transfer like files or whatever and you're not really comfortable plugging your phones to somebody's computer or at a print shop or something. This is nice to have. So that's really it, you guys. This is an awesome pack. You can kind of see by all the stuff that I fit into this thing, it can carry tons and tons of gear. It's really good for everyday carry, and it's very, very well made. It's pretty inexpensive. I mean, $20 really isn't that much for what you're getting. You can get stuff not as good for probably more at like a gas station or something like that. So I really suggest this pouch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like it, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.